think it is important to realize that if we talk about EMF radiation, we must distinguish between non-ionizing radiation and ionizing radiation. Because if we look at the electromagnetic spectrum, there are actually the dangerous ones that we know of, about the gamma rays and the X-rays, you know, the strong, that is also almost no debate about it. We know it, and there's nothing to do about it. We don't need to talk about that specifically. Then we have the visible spectrum, basically, and then we have the non-ionizing part, including the visible spectrum. So when we talk about these dangerous ones, or less dangerous ones, then the argument is, don't worry, it doesn't have a negative impact because it is not ionizing. So it's not those high frequency, high energetic ones. It can't damage your DNA. Don't worry about it. But the truth is, unfortunately, that the industry is actually focusing only, or most of the times, on the thermal effect. And if you think of the cell phone and the use of cell phones, for instance, it's great technology. Electricity is great. We all need it. We love it. But what are the negative health effects of this man-made and natural radiation? So if we talk about health effects of EMF radiation, I just want to introduce this aspect and making people aware of the difference in short. So it is non-ionizing. It has low energy. So it's not on the high frequency dangerous that we know of, but low energy rays can also, or radiation, can also be absorbed by our bodies because we are actually bioelectrical. We have all the functionalities in our cells are actually based on different potential voltages in the batteries or the cells of our bodies. And therefore, we do experience negative health effects. And then we can talk of, say, in groupings or on cellular level or on neurological level or perhaps on well-being level or everyday effects. But by essence, in essence, it's actually all to do depending on how our bodies will react. And it's like a sensitivity or an allergic reaction kind of thing. We may be 100% one day or all our many years, and then all of a sudden we may become electrosensitive, or we may experience some things that we don't know why, like tinnitus, ringing in the ears, like the headache, like the tension, like an autoimmune disorder, like dizziness, like each and every part of our body can actually be affected, and everyone will be different. You know, sleeping patterns, the pineal gland, there are actually, unfortunately, too many to name, you know, to list. But if you think of the groupings of the different cells that we think of well-being, of neurological, of cell metabolism, you know, it's just huge. It is, unfortunately, it can be very bad for a lot of people, and it most probably will, and unfortunately, deteriorate, you know, because of all the electro-pollution nowadays. I think the grounding body is another word. It's basically the WoWe grounding body, the marketing or the branding part of it, to create a world of well-being and wellness, and grounding or earthing, or an earthing mat. So we talk about the grounding body because it's like it's your partner. Because of the electro-pollution or the exponential increase in electro-pollution nowadays, our bodies get actually a lot of unnatural voltage and electricity and And therefore, at the end of the day, our bodies are not so well balanced. So we are supposed to sleep during the night and get a good night's rest so that our cells can detoxify and you will be up and running and chirpy the next morning. But now with all the electro-pollution and other toxicities in our environments, our bodies actually can't get rid of everything in our cells during nighttime. So the grounding body is now an indoor conductive system to earth. Now, to earth or to ground is basically, ideally, we should be outdoors, we should get fresh air, we should get sunshine and vitamin D, and actually walking barefoot, so that our skin can connect with the earth, so that the additional electrons, the unbalanced part of our bodies now because of all the electro-pollution, for instance, can be neutralized when our feet touch the ground. Now, because we are spending too much time nowadays indoors in front of screens, that's the way that we are now wired, but it's not the ideal thing. Therefore, we need the grounding body as our partner, because the mat or the earthing mat is then connected with only the earth of the plug. And when you insert the plug, I am going to just show it. There's just one earth, one thong there. Then you can actually connect with the earth as an indoor conductive system with just touching our feet, for instance, or our hands with the mat. And then it's actually getting the additional electrons from the earth to rebalance our bodies and try to put it back into equilibrium so that our cells are actually more energetic again, the oxidative stress will be less, and the radicals that you will have heard of, so it is helping our bodies to kind of detoxify it or get better into balance so that it can function the way that it should function. Fortunately, because we are embracing every technology and we are within many aspects within the fourth industrial revolution. So most of us are very excited about these things, because even the fact that we can connect now, we can talk to each other, it is great, it's technology. But we must be careful of how much time do we spend in front of screens or with technology, because as what I've shown actually in the previous answer, our bodies are now getting overcharged. And that is a very simple statement to make, but just to say that we can now start experiencing health effects, and especially for our children and toddlers and babies in front of screens and all this electro-pollution that actually we can't see it in our environments, except perhaps for a modem or a Wi-Fi router, or if you go outside the cell phone towers, or if you go with your cell phone. But there is an electrosmog meter. And yes, I just want to show you that, because can actually measure the electromagnetic radiation fields in your environment. And then you can see that it's accumulative over time. That the more we spend in front of screens or electromagnetic environments, because of the great technologies, the more we are actually exposed now. And then at the end, most probably we can easily start experiencing step by step or just suddenly. It's like a threshold. Your body can cope with it up to a certain level, and then it may just fall over, or you may start experiencing some dizziness or a tweaking eye, for instance. That was something that I experienced. Or heart rhythms, it's not regular for instance, or tingling in your hands or feet. Those are the things. And yes, it's because of all these wonderful things, but it's because of the increase. And even 5G, I know people are saying, don't talk about it, you don't know about it. It's not the truth. Being an ex-radiographer, many blue moons ago, I studied the physical part, the physiology part, and the technology part, all integrated. And yes, unfortunately, we need to take cognizance of it and acknowledge it and start managing it better, or say enough is enough when it's enough for you in this environment, for instance, or do cabling, rather than a lot of Wi-Fi. There are many things, but yes, it is on the increase. The 5G, it's now here, it's now there, it's now that, and people just want more quick speeds and so forth. And then you are just increasing all your exposure. So it's just not really recommended blind-eyed. It's really, we need to think critically and act responsible. Mindunique has the consulting and empowering part of programs to empower and educate people, but also has this WoWe range of products, anti-radiation or radiation shielded products. So body shields, and there are different part of the WoWe range to create a world of wellness and well-being, so that we can protect our bodies in different ways, whether it's a laptop shield, for instance, or a body shield, or a body front and back, or a mummy and baby blanket. There are different ones. I have them all here, but I assume I don't necessarily now show them all. But it's really to protect yourself and your loved ones against the harmful negative effects of non-ionizing radiation that is now much more in our environments, either in our direct here, in our home or schools or work environment, and therefore we must actually look after ourselves. And the grounding body, as what I've pointed out, and the WoWe range of other products are helping you to protect yourself against negative effects while working, or while you perhaps don't have a choice because it's your work. You need to be in front of a screen. For instance, in school environments, I would definitely recommend cabling environments and not Wi-Fi, for instance, so that we are all put the tablets on flight mode, so there are different things around this. But if you don't have a choice, get one of these WoWe products so that at least protect yourself while you need to be in front of a screen or need to engage with technology in whichever way. Yeah, that is most probably the biggest elephant in the room, because I don't think that people necessarily are connecting the dots, or they don't talk to it yet, most probably because it's invisible. I would like to think it's a digital smoke nowadays. So like smoking 5 decades ago, people would say, no, don't worry, no negative effects, it's great stuff. No, this electro-pollution and non-ionizing EMF radiation, it's unbalancing our environments, it's unbalancing our body's functionality, the fact that we can't function normal, although it's invisible, but it's actually now contributing to a sick environment. Smoke you can see. Other things, the pesticides, For instance, you can also more easily see it when it's sprayed, for instance, you know. You could also not really see it on the fruit and veggies that you are eating. But nevertheless, we can measure the electrosmog. We can see it on the measurement, but we can't see it here in front of me now. It's not visible, but it is a negative pollution element in our environment. And therefore, not only for us, I'm not focusing on the rest, but I mean our plants, our animals, our seas. It's invisible, but it's there because it's electricity, dirty electricity, the power lines. We are not building houses underneath power lines, for instance, that's visible. We are not supposed to be close to cell phone towers, for instance, and therefore we must be very careful about what are we putting next to our ears or bodies or our children and so forth, because if you read the instructions, in any case, they are telling you, you're not supposed to have it for children. You're not supposed to have it closer than, I think, 1 inch to your head, So yeah, it does have a negative impact, and it's part of the climate change because we are bothering with the balance in nature. If I can put it as a conclusion, we are struggling not to unbalance the natural balance environment, and electro-pollution is adding to that. I know we like the comfort, we know, economics, blah, 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 businesses, but somewhere we must say enough is enough. We don't want to degrade ourselves while we're embracing all the rest, but we start looking like zombies or act like zombies because we are just not ourselves anymore on the different levels of being human, because that is what is actually the distinguishing factor. We are so wonderfully made, but then we must use all our senses. We must integrate mind, body, and spirit. But if we're in front of screens, most of the time, we are flattened like the screens. We are getting dumb and numb, low energy, most probably not much interest in the real world, and. So, yeah, just not good enough. We must be careful. Okay, so the grounding buddy, the WoWe grounding buddy, is available on the website of Mindunique. In other words, in the online shop under WoWe products, and it's accessible under, or you can find the website www.mindunique.co.za. Just go to the online shop, and there you will see different categories, and the WoWe products and the WoWe grounding buddy is available there. You can order it online, or if you are not comfortable with ordering online, you can send an email to hello@mindunique.co.za, and we can assist with the rest of purchasing, or if you have more questions and you need more answers, we are here to assist, and we would love to do that.